All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody's doing well today on this beautiful Wednesday. As always, let's try to follow distractions, grab pen and paper, let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. And as always, we want to make sure that we start off by taking massive action, and that action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, setting yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trusting your education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right. So, if everybody can hear me okay, drop me one in the chat and we will get rocking. I I apologize for the delayed start this morning. I'm running around after a sick dog, so it's been an interesting trek already. So appreciate it. See the ones coming in, and let's get to it. Let's hop over to trading economics. Um, China export growth below estimates and imports jump. Uh, China's exports grew by 7% year over year in July, missing forecast of 9.7% and softening from an 8.6 rise in June. Meanwhile, imports rose 7.2%. Imports rose 7.2%, um, above consensus of 3.5%, and a reversal from a prior 2.3% fall. As a result, trade surplus was at 84.7 billion, below the expectation of 99 billion, but above 80 billion last year, right? So the trade surplus increased a little bit, but didn't meet the expectation as we kind of would expect, right? Just with the issues that they've been having overall in China. Um, then you have German exports fall more than expected. Exports in Germany dropped 3.4% month over month, to a 6-month low, of 127.7 billion euros in June, worse than the market forecast of a 1.5% drop. Um, then you had this. Japanese yen depreciated past 146 per dollar, retreating further from 7-month highs as Bank of Japan Deputy Governor uh, Shinichi Uchida said they won't raise interest rates if the market is unstable. Still, market expects that the central bank to hike rates further as rising local wages drive inflation higher. On Monday, the yen surged to a 7-month high as a recent currency intervention from Tokyo and a hawkish shift in the BOJ monetary policy spurred a major unwinding of yen carry trades. The move was also fueled further by growing U.S. recession fears and disappointing tech earnings that sparked a global sell-off in risk assets, prompting bets on an emergency rate cut from the Fed. However, market sentiment has stabilized with analysis suggesting that the recent global sell-off may be an overreaction. Right? Highly unlikely of an emergency rate cut by the Fed. But you see what words can do to the market. So um, we'll continue to watch the yen and see how this narrative continues to play. But just as we saw them talk the market down, right? Now they want to slow things down a little bit, right? And you see these reversals happening, which we'll take a look at some of them, and we see we wanted some reversals to come anyway, right? And it makes sense. So that is the Japanese yen. Um, UK housing prices rise the most in 6 months. Halifax housing price index in the UK rose by 2.3% year on year in July, up from a revised 1.9% in June, marking the sharpest annual growth since July. A typical UK home now costs £291,268, up from £289,042 in the previous month. Head of mortgages at Halifax noted that the Bank of England's rate cut and lower mortgage rates are encouraging for home buyers and those remortgaging, but affordability and property shortages remain challenges. Okay. Um, She also noted that given the backdrop of lower mortgage rates and potential further base rate reductions, they anticipate housing prices to continue a modest upward trend throughout the remainder of the year, right? Lower rates, right, will lead to more people buying. Rates continue to increase. Rates continue to increase. You still see an issue with inflation. Just note that because that's also something to think about from a U.S. perspective as well. Um, yeah, so that's where we are from a UK perspective. Over to the calendar. Talk some of these numbers. Excuse me. Um, mm, 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 mm. New Zealand employment change quarter over quarter, above expectation, looking for a 2% drop and got a 4% increase in employment change. Then the unemployment rate was slightly below the expectation, right? 4.6 instead of 4.7. And then you had labor cost index above the expectation as well. Um, Early this morning, there are your numbers there. Um, anything should the one that stands out to me this morning is foreign currency reserves, which when we look at Swissies, uh, previous foreign currency reserves 112, current I'm sorry, 712, current 704 billion. So they're decreasing currency reserves, right? Or they have decreased their currency reserves, which would also make sense on that Swissy strengthening for a short period there. Um, Today we got IBPMI for the Canadian dollar crude oil inventories, Bank of Canada meeting minutes. Then we got Bank of Japan meeting minutes and Governor Bullock speaking and inflation expectations for the New Zealand dollar. Okay, so relatively quiet day, but meeting minutes could definitely give us some insight on some things from Bank of Canada and Bank of Japan. All right. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
I am doing all right, man. Glad to be here. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Been working around the clock.
Man, I know you are,
So,
dude.
yeah, working around the clock. But as always, glad to be here, man. Like I always say, this is my peaceful place, my sanctuary. So always glad to jump on in the morning and be with the team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talk to me about your thoughts from a fundamental perspective. Anything you see,
Oh
anything
man,
stand out?
yeah, nothing outside of what you said besides the fact that the VIX is back down 22.8 this morning. So uh
Surprise, surprise.
yeah, back down 22.8. So I've been watching that closely. And as a result, we see right, uh, rallies being put in off the lows right now.
Yep.
With a lot of the commodities, you see the Aussie, so you look at that, you look at it from a technical perspective, you see the Aussie getting a bounce, making a run to some of those pairs, New Zealand dollar, things like that. So and then we saw, we were wondering yesterday, uh regarding, I know we'll take a look at it, but just regarding the S&P, and some of those lows that were put in, we see a little bit of a bounce. So now it's just a matter of if it if it sustains itself and makes a continued run to the upside. Um, so just continue to watch how it all plays out, and being patient, being patient, not being too greedy, and just picking our spots as we move through August and we get to September when things really start to ramp back up.
Yeah. Yeah. So what outside of the narrative of people overreacting, um, do you think there's anything else that's causing the rallies? Like as something like actual data, or is it more of corrections from the strong impulsive moves that we saw?
So I just think that, people getting their heads wrapped around things in regards to a huge impact again was the unwinding of the carry trades and then the data from the US. Yes, we missed the jobs number, but like I said, when we looked at the services number, that came through above forecast, but then we had manufacturing that still showed that we were contracting. So just I think everybody just really, wrapping their heads around things and saying like, hey, this market has made a run for quite some time. I mean, this is the first major correction that we've had in the S&P in a while. You know what I mean? And once everybody lets their emotions subside, realize like, hey, we were due for it. And we haven't had, just a long running string of data yet to say that we're really, really in trouble, So I'm just interested to see if it can sustain itself from here, and things, get back going again. It seems like people are still trying to are still into right now, like buying dips, you know, at this point. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
it'll
We'll
definitely
see
be
moving
interesting.
forward. Yeah, yeah. But
Definitely be
we're definitely
interesting.
seeing, yeah, we're definitely seeing some things rally across the board after a huge correction.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I'm cautious on the rallies. I'll say that part. Um,
Yep.
I'm cautious on them. Just there's mixed data, yes. Um, but some of the things that are also just happening in the background, um, when it comes to the global peace,
Hmm.
um, the potential for inflation to continue to start escalating again if we cut rates too early, especially in the housing sector, things like that. Um, I'm just I'm cautious on this being just a low a lower a higher low.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how things go.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
No, I get it. I understand your concern.
yeah, and
Uh,
and we're still not even talking about the issues that are still present in the commercial um, commercial real estate sector, and we haven't talked about issues that still linger in the background on the banking side.
right.
So those things that kind of got put on the back burner, but are still present. So I'm just curious on how it all unfolds.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it because I mean we're still in a you know uh, an area where we could go either way, you know. So really looking at what can I take advantage of in the short term
Yep,
because you don't know if it's going to sustain itself,
yep, exactly.
So kind of just as we always say, like trading what you see right
Trade
now.
what you see.
When you look at a lot of those indices, right, we're putting in a bit of a rally right now, So we take it to certain levels and then we secure the bag. We secure the bag. So
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Um, so over a team, any questions from a fundamental perspective? No.
Nope.
All right, cool deal. Um, Back over to DXY, right? Still pushing to the upside. Come down to the four, right? We got that low there on the four, trying to put in a low on the daily. If we close bullish, we'll have that swing low form there on the daily, and we'll see how far price rises to the upside. Eyes on 103, 470, 497, and there's 103, 768 to 104 range, right? But pressing to the upside nonetheless on the dollar, and we'll see how far that retracement continues to rise. Okay, so that's on the DXY. US 30, we talked about yesterday, right? We're getting retracements now. Fresh AB boundary. This one is off a little bit, but we're seeing price rally as Benny just talked about, right? And we'll see, right, as we continue to push to the upside. Do expect a retracement, but just how deep does that retracement go, right? Is this a low and then we just run to new highs, or right, do we come back to around this on this US 30 around 40,000 90, maybe a little higher, 40,851, somewhere in that range. So watching the retracements there on the indices coming back to the daily time frame, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because we did get a 786 retracement here. Okay. So question is this a retest of the cloud, swing low reversal, getting to the matching D extension at 42,000, right? Or is this just a retracement back to this 40,000 range, as I just mentioned, for then a continuation to the downside, right? You see your stochastic is pushing back into the buy zone, right? So we got some divergence happening there. So we'll watch and see how market opens and see if this turns over, pushes to the upside, and how far that goes. Okay. But if this closes bullish, we'll have that swing low form there, and then we'll be looking price moving to the upside. Okay. So that's the US 30. Ba, 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 ba. S&P 500, right? Same type of reversal, right? So in line with what we were looking at yesterday, looking for those reversals to come. We're now to the four, and there you have that there. So we're watching 618, 786, 86 range on the retracement on the 4 hour, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see if price settles in somewhere in that area, and then see if we get another reversal. Okay, so as expected on the reversals, and we'll see how deep they go. Okay, so just popping through these quickly here. Right, here we are, right? On these, not a ton happening as far as immediate setups go, but 50% retracement, and we'll move into the upside as expected. We took out that A on that previous fib, and so we got our fibs running to the upside here. Okay, so moving up, we'll continue to watch it as it gets higher in the range there on the S&P 500. And then on the NASDAQ, same story, right? Um, I'll move this. There's your 1 hour, right? Pushing toward the A boundary, right at 8.6 retracement right now. And we'll see if we break that on the 1 hour. On the four, beautiful, that fib popped in. So there's your AB boundary on the four. And we're looking for that retracement to continue. Okay, just shy of a 50% retracement right now. Looking in this range, could potentially push higher and just fully retest the cloud here, 786, 86 area where the breakout to the downside started. Okay, so watching these scenarios there. Okay, so what that also means is you got rallies in your commodity currencies as well. Okay, so we'll look at some of those and see where they are. But from an indice perspective, right, those retracements are on their way back to the upside there. Okay. Any questions on any of those indices? I know I popped through them quickly. No? All right. Cool deal. So let's look at Cat Swiss. Cat Swiss, right? From a daily time frame perspective, the extension achieved, strong reversal here, right? We broke below that all-time low level, which was really, really key, right? So now as price is reversing, strong bullish action here. We still have a stochastic in the buy zone, right? Do we get a pullback and a continuation? Okay. So as we come down to the four, you see that retracement happening there. All right, coming back to retest this level, and this, do we continue to stay below this level? Right? Does price hold here? And one of two things: either give a move back down, right? Um, as we've been talking, those carrier trades not necessarily fully complete, um, or is it like I said, a retracement and then a continuation to the upside in the short term? Okay. And so what that looks like on the 1 hour is an 80-20 scenario here. Okay. So watching this here, maybe we push a bit higher to retest that 63 cent level, right? But watching this to see if we get price to settle in and give us at least a retracement back to the 382.618 levels. Okay. It did some updates. See if we get some action like that. Okay. So that's your 80-20 on the Cat Swiss. I'm looking for a retracement at least, and then we'll see if it's a retracement and a continuation um, of that bullish action off the lows. Okay. And if that swing low remains on that daily time frame, right? Stay above that low, give us that full swing low here. And then if we get a low price, then we'll look for some buying opportunities, at least in the short term there. Okay. Questions on the Cats? What's an 80-20 here on the one?
No.
Nope. All right, cool deal. We'll keep that one in our back pocket. Um, CAD yen, that reversal on the yens, right? So on the daily time frame, we'll come here. We took out that A on the daily on that move down. Okay. So full reversal occurred there. Now we're looking for a retracement, right? We weren't able to close below this 104 level, and we're getting the move back to the upside. So we'll wait. This situation is interesting. This isn't a swing high, so we won't get that fib to form. Um, so this is going to be a weird scenario where our fib won't start until here, right? So that'll be our new fib there on that retracement. Okay. Um, so looking to see how deep this retracement goes on the daily time frame, and then we'll see what opportunities present themselves from there. So we come down to the four, and here we are, right? Retesting previous support levels. Okay. Um, as we move back to the upside. So on these yens, right? Narrative of instability. If the markets are unstable, rates won't change, but you also are expecting rates to be increased again. But you also have things continuing to brew in the Middle East, which is giving the Canadian dollar a little bit of a boost. Okay. So we could see this continue to rise a bit further, but watching these higher levels to see if we get prices settling for then a reversal. Okay. Same thing on the one, right? Just how deep does that retracement continue to track? We're already retesting previous support levels. Um, do we get another push to the upside before we get a retracement? Okay, so that's what I'm watching here on the CAD yen. Questions here, not an immediate. If you're trading off the 1 hour time frame or the 4 hour time frame, you're moving into some key levels that you want to keep your eyes on, right? And see if we get price to give us a reversal back down to the downside if the fundamentals also align. So, um, back to Benny's point of trading what you see, right? We're pushing into the 786 retracement. If we get trend line break to the downside, right, that could give you an opportunity at least to come back to this 104,727 level, retest that daily level there. Okay. And then we'll see if we're able to break the cloud back to the downside, get to the matching support level. But we could be in for, like I said, a deeper retracement in the short term before we get that reversal. Does that make sense? Trying to cover both sides of it here. Maybe.
Yep.
All right. Cool deal. Cool deal. So that's the CAD yen. Um, Swiss yen. This one is definitely going to be interesting to see. Um, Nice breakdown here. 618 retracement. Got a reaction. Trying to put in that low. All right. You still have your stochastic in the buy zone. Okay. So could this one carry further if we break back above this previous resistance level? Okay. Um, or do we put in the low and do we get the reversal there? So on the 4, same story, right? What does this look like? Does this give us a head and shoulders pattern here, right? Deeper retracement and then a move back down, or does this continue to move to the upside until we get another rate increase by Bank of Japan, right? But mm, It's be a weird start, but do we see something like that? Okay, so just got my eyes on that in the background. But could mean just a further another move to the upside. You see where already getting a retracement off of that bullish action there, right? So when we come down to the one, trying to break that A boundary. Okay, we already broke the cloud. So on this retracement here, we'll run a fib off the low. Boom, right? Um, If we get price to come down to the 618 retracement level, right, could be buying opportunity, retest of the cloud for a move to the upside as we make that swing low on the daily. Okay, so looking for price to come back down into this range. And then we'll see if we get a nice reversal back to the upside. We can play that to the matching D extension on the one. So watch for that there. Questions on the Swiss yen?
Nope.
No.
All right, cool
And
deal.
on the
Yes.
floor, well, it looks like a head and shoulder.
Mm-hmm. or could also be a crown, but yes, right. That's what I mapped out there. So I mapped out the head and shoulders, but this looks like we slightly took out that low.
I was actually looking at the fib to the downside. Let me see my fib.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Yes. Will that qualify? Let's see. It might not meet the technical
And
rule.
then,
Yeah, I got the right one selected. Oh, no, I can't click on it. Yeah, there you go. Potentially, yep, for a deeper move to the upside. Yep, yep. Definitely could be. So we'll see what this retracement looks like, right? But that comes back to this point here on the 1 hour time frame, right? So you see that a little bit more defined there. Right. So can we get price to push back into our sweet spot, right? To give us that right shoulder and play that to the upside. Good eye on that, done that. Appreciate it. Okay.
yeah.
Questions? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying welcome.
Oh, cool. Any other questions on the Swiss yen? Nope. All right, cool. Euro Aussie. Trying to put in a high on the daily, right? Look at that. Look at this move, right? Took its time, pushed deep, and then just been crazy to the upside. Trying to break the levels, trying to continue to move long, but we're getting this retracement right now. Okay, broke trend line, coming back. We'll retest the trend line, but how deep does this retracement come before we get the continuation to the upside? Okay. Matching the extension is still 172,821. All right. So we got a retracement happening right now. We could get a swing high to form there. We could see this push deeper, right? Be curious to see if we come back to this what is this? 161,380 area, right? Now to give us a crown pattern here. So we'll watch and see if that develops. But coming down to the 4, right, we're coming into some key areas here. So when watching this off the 4 and a retest of the trend line, right, we're pushing back into the zone. So if we stay inside this AB boundary, we'll see the reversal. If we take out the A, then I'll be looking at this 161 level. Okay. So I'm watching this one here as we push through our deep retracement zone here, right? And how deep does that move go as those commodity currencies are taking back a little bit of what they lost? Okay. So that's my question is, do we stay inside the AB boundary or not? Right. So that's how I'm watching that one. If we settle in and get a nice reversal, trend line break, then I'll look for buying opportunity to continue to play that to the upside to get to that matching D extension on the daily time frame. Okay. But if we take the A out again, right, we'll look for a move down to previous support resistance here. Okay. So that's on the 4. coming down to the 1, we do have an 80-20 scenario here, right? So I'm watching this one cautiously. I do need some additional confirmation on this. Boom. And it may not be a cloud break here, it'd be more of a trend line because we just broke the cloud there. So if we get a reversal back up and then a continuation back down, okay? So I'm watching that for a trend line break to the upside here.
The down fib to the on the 4 hour is also 80-20.
Okay. I'll drop that in. Beautiful. So a little bit of confirmation there. All right, so we'll see if we get price to settle in and give us some move back to the upside. Questions on the Euro Aussie? Nope.
In this case, when you have both the 4 hour and the 1 hour, which one would you want to wait to see the trend line break, the 4 or the 1?
I want to see the trend line break on the 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Cool deal. Eurocat. Benny mentioned this at the end of the session yesterday. Trying to put in a swing high here and move back down. Right? Took out all of the levels. And what's interesting here also is we took out the A on the monthly. So now we got a fib run into the upside here. Okay, so that deep retracement is no longer a deep retracement. Boom. There's your monthly fib. We got a 382 there, push back to the upside. So do we get a double top and a move down, or is this just a pullback for a continuation long? Okay, so that's from a monthly perspective. On the weekly, we're still sitting in this 80-20 range. We also took out the A here on this capital fib as well. So now our capital fib is here, 80-20 scenario. Okay, that level taken out, that level taken out, potentially a new high. So watching this to see what happens here with the euro and the Canadian dollar. We'll see what the meeting minutes say later on today for Canada. We'll see how the data continues to come out for the euro, but how deep does this retracement come? Okay. We continue to get higher and higher into the zone. So watching that there. So back to the daily, right? Stochastic pushing back to the sell zone. Okay. So a little bit of divergence happening here as well. Price pushing down. You got stochastic moving up. So we'll watch and see where price goes. This was a previous resistance level, but it is now support. So we'll watch this range here to see how price responds. Right. We break down below this 149, definitely see continued movement down to the next support levels as it goes. So boom. So we'll watch that area and see how price responds here. But been a nice strong move to the downside. You come down to the 4. We're moving down into a deep retracement zone as we retest some of these previous resistance areas. Okay. So if price settles in here, if price settles in here, right, we could see a reversal to the upside. Okay, so I'm watching that as we push deeper into the zone here on the 4. Okay. Um, and there we are on the cloud, right? So we're approaching a retest of the cloud as well, still bullish ahead. So we'll keep our eyes peeled there. Then on the 1, right? This was an 80-20 on Monday. A beautiful breakdown. Okay. So similar to that 4-hour time frame, as we push deeper into the zone, we'll watch to see if price settles in and then see if we can get that seated D action back to the upside, depending on how deep that retracement comes. Okay. So I'm watching that there as price settles in.
There's a 80-20 on the downflip there, right?
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. So let's watch. Let's watch and see what type of action we get here. Okay. So we got price moving into some areas. All right. You weren't able to take advantage of the moves coming out of the weekend. All right. We're moving back into some areas now where we can say, okay, let's see if we get CDD action. Questions on the Euro CAD. Oh, okay. Deal. Euro Swissy. Right. We're seeing that reversal. Similar here, right? Daily time frame, some to that CAD Swiss. Strong bullish action. Came back down to these all-time lows. Right. So now we're reversing or retracing. Strong bullish move yesterday, right? Back to those retracements that we've been seeing. Stochastic's still in the buy zone here. So as we come down to the 4, you see we're in that retracement phase now. Okay. So again, it's just a matter of how deep do these retracements go? Okay. Um, so we'll continue to monitor to see what that looks like. So as we come down to the 1, just hit a D extension here. So looking for a fresh AB boundary to form, and we'll see if we get a retracement and then a continuation to the upside in the short term. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for here after that cloud break, right? There's your swing low, cloud break, and then we're continuing to the upside. So we could see price get back to this 95,400 level. But we'll wait on a retracement first, and we get a low price that gives us then an opportunity to get long. Okay. Pull back somewhere in this range here. Okay, so that's the Euro Swiss questions. Okay. The yen is in the same position as the others, right? Retracement is happening, waiting to see it form. Um, Personally, would love to see price come back to 166, close to 167. Um, Personally, I would like to see that. Uh, we'll see how that goes. But with that being said, we come down here to the 1. And you see where we are. 8-6, excuse me, 8-6 retracement. And we're trying to put in a low. So this could definitely go further, right? Depending on what obviously what happens with the euro, but also what happens with the yen. Okay. Um, but like we talked about, looking for high prices to then be able to get back short. Okay. That's a previous support level there. looking for high prices to then get short. So how far does this move go? Do we get back to the matching extension at 178? Do we get a double top? Right? What does this scenario look like? So watching these reversals as they come. Okay. Um, coming down to the 4, right? That fib is off, should be there, but watching the move back to the upside. Okay. So nothing immediate happening here, but watching it. Excuse me. We got the cloud break. If we get that swing low on the daily, right, then it'd be a pullback and then look for a continuation. Okay. So nothing immediate on the euro yen. Just want to take a look at it. Questions on this one?
Nope.
Cool, dude. Uh, euro dollar. Also, interesting situation here. Strong break back above resistance. Come back retesting. We're stalling a little bit here, right? But we're also creating a new swing high there. So, just what happens here, right? What happens with the dollar? What happens with the euro? We break back below, we could see somewhere in this range in the short term. So watching this level to see if we're able to break back below. Whoops. And continue to move to the downside. Stochastic pushing into the sell zone here. Okay. So we get that swing low to a swing high to form. Stochastic push into that sell zone. And we could see a continuation to the downside here. We come down to the 4. Took out the A there. Took out the A there. Boom. So there's your 80-20 on the 4. This looks similar on the 1 as well, right? So Monday, that move started to the downside, right? Coming out of the weekend. So in the 1 hour, this is what that 80-20 looked like. All right, so now we're stalling here, and we'll see what happens. If we're able to get a full cloud break on the 1, right, in line with that daily swing high, that could give us confirmation of continuation to the downside, at least in the short term. Okay, so I'm looking for a cloud break here, which would also give us a confirmation of that break of that support level.
Yeah, it looks like I got in on the right shoulder there.
All right here.
Mhm.
Sweet. Great work. And that's identifying all of these head and shoulder paths. Good job. Great job. All right. So we'll continue to watch this to see if we're able to get that confirmation to the downside then. Okay. Questions on euro dollar? No? Okay. Um,
Hey
take a look at
Ryan.
this. Yes, sir.
Uh, oil is making a move off that double bottom.
It is. It is. It is. It is. It's actually one that I've been sitting in for a minute. Mm, daily, this is where we are on oil. All right. This is that double bottom that Benny's talking about right here. Right. Trying to put in a low here. Let's see if that fully forms. Right. So we come down to the 4. Boom. Right. And we're seeing that push to the upside here. I see this continuing at least in the short term. We'll see. We'll see what happens over the long term. But we got a nice ABCD wave here to the upside. Right. We'll look at it on the 1 hour as well. But right. 786 retracement, pushing long. So we'll look to see if that continues, right? Especially with all of the things happening globally. Okay. Then down to your 1. There's your ABCD wave sequence there. We'll drop the cloud on. Trying to break the cloud there on the 1, right? So trying to confirm that swing low on the daily, and we're getting a cloud break. All right. So this could be an opportunity, entry opportunity. You see this continue to move to the upside, right? Off the swing low. All right. You also had a bunch of other stuff happening here. You had a crown pattern. Right. So beautiful reversal happening there, moving long. So we'll see if we get that full cloud break at some point. We get a pullback, but looking for this to continue moving to the upside. Appreciate that, Benny.
Yep.
Moving along on oil. Questions? No? Okay. Benny, anything else you got your eyes on, bro? That you saw as you're catching up?
No, just continuing to I haven't had a chance to look at stocks this morning, but really continuing to look at these indices, right, to see if we get a continued rally, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
They seem to pretty much all. I was looking at the Russell 2000. Seem like they're pretty much all running along across the board. When I look at the spider, the ETFs, and the breakdowns, they've all made gains. So
Yeah.
it may be a short term run, but right now, if you're day trading some things, those look like they're definitely looking to continue to the upside. Looking at today's early price action, right? So we're still pre-market, so we'll see, but it's looking good right now.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Appreciate that, bro. All right, good people. Any questions on anything that we covered this morning?
Nope. Thank
No?
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. You guys have a phenomenal day. Accountability group. We'll be back at it tonight, 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're able to tap in, tap in. If not, we will see you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. You guys have a phenomenal day. Peace.